What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I'm going to be talking about what's going on with NIO moving forward, why we should be very, very cautious going into tomorrow, and why I'm expecting a massive, massive move when it comes to how it's going to move given earnings that's coming out. So I'm going to break down earnings for NIO, talk about what you should be watching for, how it could affect NIO's share price. I'm also going to break down some other important things about the markets as well. Before I break anything down about all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things real quick. Firstly, I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And finally, don't forget about the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. You put in $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks and plus a $100 cash bonus. The offer ends very soon. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. NIO is up about 0.39% for the day, once again trying to hold the levels it's at, and it's continuing to get tighter and tighter, so we're expecting a massive move tomorrow. The question is, will NIO break out to the upside, or is NIO going to crash? That's going to depend entirely on earnings and guidance going forward. Now, some articles are coming out from Investor Place. They're saying NIO is going to crash. The other shoe's about to drop with NIO stock. The growth resurgence narrative with NIO stock has reached the end of the road. I find this a little suspicious. I mean, there are all these articles saying negative things about NIO, saying it's about to crash after earnings. Could it be the truth? We'll have to wait and see. On top of that, we're seeing, more articles coming out. What is this? Tip ranks. I don't even follow this too often, but I'm still gonna call this out because this is a major news source. And it's saying that NIO has the good, the bad, and the ugly, and they're just constantly saying things about how NIO is not doing as well. They're going to see bigger losses. Don't expect the strongest earnings. Guidance won't be that good. They did say some positive things about it, though, which is good about how some analysts are bullish. But besides that, most of this article has not been the best about NIO. Now, when it comes to the data, NIO has deliveries coming out very, very soon. The deliveries, earnings, and that type of stuff. This is going to be very, very impactful for the share price. This is going to be the first quarter earnings, though. You have to remember, it's the first quarter earnings. It is not for the second quarter. Now, they're saying that NIO has been struggling with the sales, and they believe NIO is going to be widening their net loss right over here to about 38 cents from 12 cents a year ago. They said revenue seems to be rising 13% to $1.675 billion, and that would be the weakest in years. So despite a somewhat rising revenue, they're still saying it's going to be very weak, bad earnings. They're saying that NIO barely met William Lee Bin's overall projection, and they barely met it at 31,000 EVs in Q1. And then Li Auto, they're saying it's lagging behind Li Auto. They're saying over here, NIO once again is likely not going to have strong Q2 estimates. They're continuing to say NIO had very weak deliveries for April and May, and they're not too optimistic. So a lot of these articles are saying that NIO is going to see bigger losses. NIO is not going to do well. We'll see on that. NIO has earnings before Friday. Before Friday open. Before the market opens, NIO is going to be reporting its earnings. Get ready, because by the time we wake up here in the USA, it's most likely going to be out already. This is going to cause a massive move. Make sure you are ready for this. Now, when it comes to the market, SPY has a lot of puts, over 1 million puts and about just over 500,000 calls. That tells me that there's a good chance market makers may try to cause another short squeeze. All the headlines are saying we've entered the new bull market territory, and people are becoming excited about this. Not guaranteeing anything, because I'm going to remain very objective. So just so we're clear, SPY is stuck between the 429 to 430 resistance area and then the support around 426. We're stuck in this range, basically, and we're going to break in one direction. If it breaks 426, it's going to come down hard. If it breaks 429, we're going to be watching 430. If 430 breaks, it has a lot of room for upside. Right now, it's still stuck, so we'll have to see which direction it breaks in. I'm going to remain unbiased. But with all the good news coming out, and also the fact that Tesla is exploding after Elon Musk closed a big deal between GM and Ford, as they're now going to be allowed to use Tesla's charging networks universally, that in turn is helping Tesla pump. Apple's also holding up nicely. So with Tesla pumping very hard and Apple holding up, this could be positive for NIO in general and also the whole market. So there's an increased probability of the market doing quite well tomorrow, but there's not a guarantee, so always be open-minded. Now, anyways, enough about the overall market. Let's talk about NIO. What on earth is going on with NIO? What are these technicals telling us? Well, you have to remember, technicals are not everything when it comes to earnings. You can't just look at technicals, okay? You have to look at how things are looking. You have to look at what's about to be announced. Now, for their earnings, NIO is going to be talking about their Q2 deliveries, why they saw some declines, and they're going to be talking more about the second half of 2023. William Lee Bin said some very positive things about 2023 for the second half of it, and he's likely going to maintain that stance. If guidance is very positive and optimistic, there's a chance NIO could see a bullish move. If earnings are not the best and that happens, it might not be super bullish. And if NIO has like very, very strong earnings in general, or if they manage to beat somehow, or they like meet expectations and guidance is good, then we could see the share price push to the upside. But if NIO has bad earnings and guidance isn't that great, it's going to slow down. If NIO has bad earnings and everything is horrible, then this could be a fake pattern right here. And this is going to cause NIO to come down. We're going to be looking at their new model that just came out, the new SUV. We're going to be looking at what they say about the ET7 and their sedans. We're going to be looking at NIO Park and what else is going on with production capabilities during their earnings reports. William Lee Bin is going to talk a lot about NIO's projections, how NIO is doing. Make sure you're listening. Make sure you're ready for all of this. But now I want to break down something important. NIO had a bullish divergence right over here, and it's starting to pop a little bit off of it. There's a potential inverse head and shoulders forming, and there's an increased probability it's going to start pushing up to fill this imbalance up here around 8.61. There's also a cup and handle like formation. You could argue that we have like this cup right here. We're about to form a handle. Or you could even say like this whole thing is going to become a giant cup and handle. It's going to start popping. So the technicals look bullish, right? It looks bullish. But the news is so negative, and the news is being very, very bearish on NIO. So there's this big dichotomy between the news and the technicals. I'm going to remain open-minded. Tomorrow, if NIO gaps below 7.5, it's going to likely come all the way down to 7 or even lower. If NIO manages to break above $8, it's likely going to push for this imbalance at 8.61. And if it breaks that, we're going to see the 9s pretty quickly. It's not even going to stop here. It's probably going to go all the way up to the 9s. Both are very possible, and I'm going to remain open-minded. But in my opinion, I'm open-minded, guys. I'm always open to anything. I also properly hedge my position just in case, because I am expecting a big move. As NIO is getting tighter and tighter, a big move is going to come. Finally, let me just add that from a technical standpoint, with the inverse head and shoulders, the potential cup and handle, these imbalances up above, and this accumulation phase that seems to be forming, I am predicting, okay? I'm unbiased. I talked about both the bullish and bearish cases. I'm prepared for anything. Let me make that clear. But what do I think is going to happen? A lot of people want me to share my opinions. And I'm going to do it for the, people out there. I think NIO's earnings are going to be decent. They're going to meet on revenue, and maybe EPS will be very close. Maybe a small miss, but very, very close. Like super, super close, right? Not even that bad of a miss. And then what I'm thinking is that's not going to matter as much. What's going to matter is going to be what the CEO, William Lee Bin, says. I think everything he's going to say is going to be bullish. He's going to hype investors up as he typically does. And I'm predicting he's going to give some other outlandish number, if you want to use that word, about their deliveries coming up for the remainder of the year. He's going to set a very big goal. And I'm not even going to use the word outlandish. I mean, I don't want to underestimate NIO. I just want to use that claim because he has said some things that people don't agree with, or they think he's exaggerating. But the thing is, he knows how to hype up investors. He knows how to get them excited about the company. And I have a feeling the same thing's about to happen. He's going to get the investors fired up. He's going to get them excited. He's going to help them get a much more positive outlook of NIO. And I'm predicting we're going to see this thing push close to $9. That's my prediction. If I'm wrong, so be it. This setup looks very beautiful. Nice inverse head and shoulders, holding support, getting very tight from the Bollinger Bands. Right over here is very, very tight. It's getting ready for a massive move. It's going to go up very hard. It's going to come down very hard. I think it's going to be the upside. That's just my guess. That's my prediction. That is what my presumption is based off historical data and based off what William Lee Bin has said before. right? The news is negative about NIO, saying it's going to crash. William Lee Bennett historically, he likes to pump NIO and hype up investors, and the technicals look bullish. So the odds are favoring it being more likely to push the upside. I'm leaning more in that direction, but I'm always open-minded no matter what. Want to make that clear? That's what I have for this video. Thank you all so much for listening. Get ready for tomorrow. Get ready for NIO's earnings before the market opens. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Expect a big move. Get ready. NIO to the moon, as the long term is very bright. Regardless of what happens, I'm still very bullish long term on NIO. And peace out.